What happened to Grodd after he escaped with his father? Montvale, Colorado. The night is quiet on an old abandoned mall. A mouse moves quietly through the collection of debris that is scattered around, unaware that it is being stalked. Suddenly, Grodd leaps from the shadows and grabs hold of the small animal. He holds it up and peers at the creature.
Friend? Friend!
He thinks. But suddenly, the sound of approaching footsteps cuts through the quiet. Red weapon lasers flash through the darkness as Grodd scampers away.
Not friends!
Grodd yells in his mind. Target acquired! One of the soldiers shouts. They quickly follow behind the ape. Grodd ducks into one of the forgotten stores to find his father meditating.
Papa! Not friends! Not friends!
Grodd mentally screams. Smoke grenades are tossed inside as Grodd's father moves to protect him, roaring at the approaching humans. Grodd's eyes widen as gunfire thunders in the tight space. Meanwhile, in Detroit, Wally is looking over the notes left by Ray Palmer. His eyes widen as he reads the theory that there is something below the still point. An omega symbol is drawn on the page, but he doesn't know what it could mean. He looks around the room and remembers the warning from his future self about how it was too late to save his father, that Thawne took him below. But Wally shakes his head. He refuses to believe it. Suddenly, he grabs at his head as a primal scream echoes through his mind. Flashes of Grodd's fear and pain pulse through him and he falls to the floor. The pain disappears just as quickly as it came, and Wally is left confused. Quickly, he reaches for his cell phone.
Oh, well, look who needs my help now.
Linda answers in irritation. Linda, listen, I found something, and I think it's something really important, but I think Grodd's in trouble. Where are you right now? Wally quickly says. In Iron Heights, the park, Linda tells him. Suddenly, there is a blur of motion, and Wally is standing behind her. Will you help me find Grodd? He asks. Linda doesn't hesitate and climbs on his back. Dude, you know I'm all about that monkey, she tells him. Actually, he's an ape, Wally corrects her. Nerd, Linda says as Wally begins to run them back to the last place they saw Grodd. In moments, the two are back in Colorado in a flash, not that far from Fort Fox. Wally looks around like he hopes Grodd would be waiting for them. There's no way of knowing where Grodd went when he left Fort Fox, but maybe it wasn't too far, Wally ponders. He looks up as a black helicopter flies in the distance. Maybe that's something? He whispers. But Linda is looking at her phone. She holds it up for him. Wally, she says softly as the news report plays, showcasing strange occurrences at a nearby abandoned strip mall. Wally grabs her and they speed away again, appearing outside the mall in a blur. They find abandoned police cars and military vehicles. The two walk quietly inside. Stay close. If anything happens, I'll get you out of here in a flash, Wally whispers. Linda stops and smiles at him. A flash! That could be good, she whispers. Wally looks at her confused. For what? Your code name, dude! You can't just be Wally. It's all about creating a brand, Linda explains. Wally shakes his head. I don't want to be a brand. I'm not selling anything, he hisses at her. But the two stop talking when they realize a cop is standing in the shadows. He has his back to them and doesn't move. Okay, that's weird, Linda whispers. Officer, are you all right? She asks. The cop suddenly turns at the sound of her voice, his eyes glowing green as he growls and lunges at them. Wally moves quickly, becoming a blur as he kicks the cop away. Linda looks around in fear as more cops begin to come out of the shadows, their movements animalistic. Wally grabs her by the arm and starts to run away at normal speed. Why aren't you super speeding us out of here? Linda calls as the cops give chase. I think Grodd is close, he tells her. They round the corner and find a squad of soldiers waiting for them. Half a dozen targeting lasers suddenly flashing on their chests. Wally begins to flash away, but a round manages to clip his leg before he can pick up speed. He stumbles to the ground, and Linda is tossed into a nearby wall, knocking her unconscious. The soldiers stalk forward, their weapons raised. All men bad. All men Grodd, the soldiers chant. The weapons thunder in the tight space, and Wally does his best to protect Linda, but the bullets never reach him. He looks up to see Grodd standing before him, a psychic shield protecting them. The green ape looks back and smiles.
Wally,
he thinks. The bullets drop out of the air and clatter on the ground as Grodd releases the soldiers and walks to his friend.
Who that?
He thinks as he points to Linda. Wally puts a hand on her shoulder. My friend. Grodd nods knowingly and levitates Linda's body with his mind before motioning Wally to follow him.
Wally friend, my friend,
he thinks. Where are we going, Grodd? What's happening here? Wally asks. Grodd leads them to his makeshift home in one of the abandoned stores, and Wally is shocked at the blood on the floor.
Happening? Papa happening. Papa hurt. Papa angry. Found Papa, but Papa gone.
Grodd explains. Grodd reaches up and takes Wally's head in his small hands. He links their minds, and Wally sees what happened. The soldiers throwing smoke grenades. Grodd's father controlling them, having them aim their guns at each other and fire. His father dragging the bodies. More soldiers. More slaves. Wally pulls away from his friend. Where's he now? Where's your papa? Wally asks. Grodd motions around them.
Papa near. Papa everywhere,
he thinks softly. Linda begins to stir next to them and slowly sits up, rubbing at her head before her eyes widen at the sight of Grodd.
The monkey!
She gasps with joy. Grodd smiles at her.
Wally friend,
he thinks. Linda looks at Wally in wonder and surprise. He's in my head! How's he doing that? She thinks loudly. It's what he does, Wally tells her before wincing at the pain of his wounded leg. Quickly, she helps stop the bleeding, bandaging the wound with some nearby cloth. He grunts at the pain. Don't be a baby, Flash, Linda tells him. Wally shakes his head. Stop calling me that. No way. What do you think, Grodd? Flash is a good name, right? Linda calls over her shoulder, but there is no answer. She glances back to find Grodd is gone. Wally calls out for his friend, but it isn't Grodd that answers. A voice whispers from the shadows. Shh, they're going to hear you. They're everywhere. Trickster steps out of the shadows, holding Grodd with a knife to his throat. I'm sorry, kid. There's no other way. We gotta kill Grodd, she tells them. And that was Absolute Flash, issue 16 by Jeff Lemire. I think Trickster just got a place on all of our list of characters we don't like, because who holds a knife to Grodd's throat? But let me know what you thought about today's video in the comments down below. And like and subscribe to help out the channel. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.